Hey, it's Billy J, Story Moto ADV. I have a quick weigh-in on the Royal Enfield Himalayan. Hear me out first, real fast. You're going to want to watch this. Love, Enfield, hate them, whatever you are. Check this out. Give me half a second. Oh, my God. Here's the thing. First off, let me say this. This is not an alarmist video. I've discovered that people who don't like the Himalayan or don't care will either love hearing about it for the wrong reasons or love hearing about it for the right reasons. I'm one of the ones that love hearing about it for the right reasons so that I can turn around and offer good information to our viewers. And just to have good information for friends and stuff who are considering buying these bikes, and you know, it's a pretty big investment. I don't want to be like, hey, yeah, well, you know, I heard something, but I didn't look into it, so yeah, man, get one. Let me know what you think. Let me know if the frame breaks. I want to find these things out, and the best place to do it is to come on to social media groups and ask people who know. And you know, does that alarm some people? Maybe so, but what's the sacrifice? You know, the sacrifice is that nobody says anything. And nobody finds anything out, and I'd love to prove that the Royal Enfield Himalayan is a wonderful bike. Here's what I found, and I'm going to show some cases from the people that I got the information from. Seem very objective and educated on the matter, right? So the frames did break, but I think it was like in 2017. A lot of the pictures that you see going around were from that time frame, not currently. However, going on to several online adventure riding communities, I did run into a lot of people who claim that there were these breaks recently. Like one had 3 breaks on one 2-week trip. I think they were in Tibet. But there's no proof of it, right? There's no pictures of that. There's just these claims. So they kind of support the idea. They kind of support the witch hunt. They may be true. They may not be true. One of the most credible ones, I asked the gentleman if he would send any pictures. He didn't have any. We can't take that to the bank either because we just don't have the proof. That being said, where do we go from there? Well, I asked the guy, I said, well, assuming this was true, right? Did these bikes, were they older models? Were they newer models? Is there any sort of obvious abuse cycles they had been through? Do these people who rent these bikes just dog the crap out of them so it's not fair? Or, you know, what do you think? And he said they look new. He said they had some other failures too, like a clutch and things like that. But I'm not addressing those things. I don't know anything about it. Haven't done any real research on that, so I'm not going to share on it. So at the end of the day, I don't know what to think about his claims. The credible claims we have are a bit older. The pictures came from 2017. A buddy of mine, Glenn Baker, he's on one right now in the Himalayas, and it's doing wonderful. And he had also originally, prior to renting the Royal Enfield Himalayan for this trip, or he may have even bought it, he did himself post a picture of one broken in half. I don't know when that picture was taken. So it is confirmed that there are several reports of the Royal Enfield Himalayan broken half, total chopper raked out, you know. So there's no denying that. And you know, there's some plausibility to some of these other claims, right? And that left me in this quandary of what the heck can I find out about this issue that's real? And so I got to looking into it, and I ran across, number one, a man who explained how those breaks likely occurred. I'm not sure of his credibility. I'm going to link him here. Hopefully, I'm going to ask him first. But I did communicate with him. He seemed like a very educated man and really understood the process of welding. And he explained how what he saw in the frame breaks were consistent with a pretty common mistake that can be made in the factory where they manufacture the bike. So again, there's some further plausibility to those particular breaks. I spoke to another guy who had answered one of my requests on Facebook, and he said that these pictures are old. That was the first person who had drawn my attention to that fact, and he said that they have repaired that problem. There's now a gusset they've included on the frame, so it's not just the main frame beams butt jointed into the beginning of the triple tree assembly framing. It has a gusset there, so it's a weld and then a weld on either side per a gusset. Look up gusset if you don't know what it is. I'll show a picture of it here. And you know, that made sense. Royal Enfield is really trying to do a lot to market them for adventure, and so they're not going to let these things go unchecked, these issues go unchecked. So I haven't been able to verify that gusset framing as a direct remedy to the reports of the frame breaks, but I have verified that they do have that on the frame in the current models, and so I don't have verification if the recent claimed brakes are of these newer models. So if you have that information, I'd love to hear it. Again, I'm not offering a definitive answer, but I am offering all the information that I was able to glean researching it. It looks pretty good for the Royal Himalayan. I want to be a good source of information on the product, as simple as that. I'll be sharing in this video all the links. If you have any links, do share them. And the only other thing I came up with that I didn't mention yet is that there are some mentions of the Royal Enfield Himalayans made overseas, not the ones sold in America, are producing quality results that are a little different, a little worse. So I haven't heard any claims in the US about it. If you have, again, add that in the comments. Add anything in the comments that you can to help dispel the witch hunts. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook. We just opened up a new motorcycle camp cooking group called motorcycle.camp.cook, and it's stacking up wonderful. We're coming up on 800 members, and a lot of information and cool techniques are being shared. It's really awesome. Be sure to like and subscribe here. Click the bell if you like what you see here and don't want to miss new content coming up. We got all sorts of it. Story Moto ADV out.